Okay, so let's get started. Welcome to Hospitality Leadership. Okay, this is the name of the subject. Well, my name, as I told you before, difficult to pronounce, but you can call me George. This is for this first semester, year 3, or some students from year 4, okay? And we're going to see quickly the objectives of the subject. Okay, so here it says a lot of words, but what I want you to get when you finish the subject, I want you all to become leaders. And if you don't become leaders, at least you become good followers. That's the two important things. And also you're going to see, when we see all the subject, that followers, good followers, they have also leadership inside them, okay? So leadership, it doesn't mean be the manager. Even if you are working for lower positions, you can still be a leader, okay? So this you can read later, it's not very relevant, okay? Here you have the general course description that you can see on the website, so not important. We have 15 weeks together, okay? Okay, and here we're going to see every week what we're going to do. So today we're going to talk about, well, the introduction, the class requirements. We're going to talk about the group project. You have to do one group project, okay? We're going to talk about this today. And we're going to see chapter 1, who is a leader. So today this introduction is going to be a bit long. I mean, it's going to be normal class time. Usually introductions are shorter, but I want you to see this chapter in detail because it's important, because you're going to get a general idea of what we're going to see in the rest of the course. Okay, then the different chapters we're going to see for the different weeks. Then the week before the midterm exam, we will have our review so we can see the main concepts we have seen the previous week. Then you have the midterm exam, and afterwards we have all these weeks. We don't have any quizzes or anything, it's just we're going to do some assignments in the class, and also the project that we will talk about it later. And then the last week before the review, week 15, we're going to have the presentation of the projects, okay? So I will let you know how to do the presentation, how long, etc. And we will have also discussion, some question and answer, okay? It will be questions by me and also by your classmates. And afterwards, the week before the final examination, the same, review about everything. So this review, instead of seeing everything, is better that you start reading and then you come and ask me what you have, if you have any questions, any doubts, anything. But if not, we can see just a quick review from each chapter, what is the most important topics or the most important concepts, okay? Then the assessment. So we have midterm, 20%, the final 40% because it's comprehensive, group project, report and presentation 20% as well, and attendance in class assignments and participation 20%. So for those that are with me in the other classes, you know that is more or less similar. In those that we have group project, 20% for the group project. In other subjects we have quizzes and it's 20% for the quizzes, but the rest is more or less the same. The classes will start at 9, and then at 9:05 I will start. I mean, you have to be here at 9, and if you arrive 10 minutes late, will be okay. If you arrive more than 10 minutes late, so you got late, okay? You know that after 3 lates, it's like an absent, okay? We're gonna follow these two books, especially this book, Effective Leadership, okay, but everything's going to be in the slides. What you need to study is in my slides. You don't need to get the book for anything else. And this one I'm going to use to get some case studies on hospitality leadership. Okay, this book is about leadership in general, because first you need to get an idea about leadership, some concepts that is applicable for all the industries, and then the case studies would be focused on hospitality. And also we would see, when we have time, some videos online about some leaders that is interesting to see their biography and their leadership style to compare with the theory that we're going to see. Okay, so that would be the introduction of the class, of the subject. So for the group assignment, I want you to be in groups of, how many are we? I think we would be 20 maximum, 15 to 20 maybe? No? Because I saw there's already registered, I think 11 people registered already. But I don't know, I saw that Khan is not registered yet, so 12 minimum. Okay, we do it in pairs, okay? Like pairs. Okay, and then it's going to have two parts, the project, okay? The first part is going to be a hospitality leader. You have to find about one hospitality leader, get information about him or her, look for you have to explain to us, to the class, as if we didn't know anything about this person, so you have to explain a quick biography about this person, and some examples. You can use some videos, or you can use some quotes that this person said, and that shows that he or she is a leader. Okay, so that will be the first part of the project and the presentation. Also, I will give you in the coming weeks, maybe next or following weeks, I will give you a paper more in detail talking about the project. But this is just for you to have an idea and to start looking for who's gonna be the leader you're gonna study about. Okay, but I will give you probably next week. I will give you a paper with all the details about the project. And the second part is watching a movie that has something related to leadership. Okay, you have to watch the movie that is related to leadership, and then write a report about this movie. First, telling the plot of the movie, and then who or how many characters have leadership on them, and examples. The same. You can put some parts of the movie, like here this character is saying this, and this shows leadership, and compare this to the theory we're going to study. Okay, so leadership movie. If you cannot find a movie with leadership that you can find things about leadership, you can ask me and I will recommend you one. Okay. Anyway, next week when I give you the information about the projects, so there I will put a list with some movies that has something related to leadership, okay? And you can choose one or the other. But you have to tell me, because you cannot repeat the same movie, or you cannot repeat the same leader. So be quick to tell me which leader you're gonna do, and then like this you are more likely not to have the same as another group, okay? So this we'll see it more in detail next week. So just for the moment, start thinking of who you're going to do the project with, and start thinking maybe of the leader, or if you can think of any movie you've already watched, and it's easier for you because you have already watched it, and if you watch again, it's easier for you to get all the concepts and everything, okay? But this we will talk more in detail next week. Okay, so let's get started with chapter 1. If I speak too quick, let me know. Okay? Because yesterday someone told me that if I can speak slowly, so the first day. Okay, so today I'm going to try to make it slower. Okay, so we're going to talk today is the beginning, the introduction to leadership, and we're going to talk about who is a leader. So, can you tell me anyone that you consider? No, it's not. This is not the answer. I'm not a leader. Yeah, the other day when I was making the presentation, I thought, yeah, maybe it looks like the answer, but not. Okay, so who is a leader? Can you tell me anyone that you consider that is a leader? Barack Obama. Yeah, you say the same. Okay, anyone else? Any leader? Hmm? Who? Sorry, I can. The Prime Minister? Okay, and how about, these are both politicians, they are leaders of a country. How about other type of leaders?
How about the leader, president in university?
Okay, that would be a leader. This is presidents of, well, first we talk about countries, now we talk about a university or company. You can think as is private university, it will be like kind of organization. So, but do you think, can you give me another example from someone who is a leader well known and people follow, and even the quotes of this person are famous worldwide? Apart from Obama, apart from the Prime Minister? Jose Mourinho, okay, he could be a leader in football, okay, and then he got famous quotes, but how about one big company that you can think of, and the leader of that company? Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was a great leader, and then there's Bill Gates, for example, okay, or how's the name of the one in Facebook? Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, so these are leaders that are related to our time now, but leaders in the old time, we can think of leaders like Julius Caesar, okay, in the Roman times, or we can think of Gandhi as well. He was a leader. You don't need to be an official leader to become a leader, but when people follows you, it means you are a leader, okay? Gandhi, we were talking about something in the past, so there's many types of leaders. So whenever if you know that these people are leaders, you can get an idea of what type of personality or what type of behavior you need to have to become a leader, okay? So let's get started. This is what we're going to see today, okay? It's about this chapter 1. The first thing is the 5 key elements of leadership, okay? The second one, the 10 managerial roles, the roles that all managers have during their managerial life when they are working as managers. Interrelationships among the levels of leadership analysis, okay? So we're going to do an analysis of how the different levels of leadership are related, okay? We will see it more in detail later. The leadership theory paradigm. Anyone's heard of paradigm before? Paradigms? What can it be? A paradigm is a concept that is generally accepted, like worldwide, or it can be in just a nation, but it's something that is accepted, a paradigm that is well known by everyone and is accepted by everyone, okay? So we would see the different paradigms that we have seen about leadership theory, okay? And the last one, shift. What is shift? A shift? To shift is to change, yes. So, shift from management to leadership. Now we're giving more value to leaders than managers. I mean, manager still exists, the term manager, but manager is considered as a position. You can be a general manager, you can be a sales manager, you can be a human resource manager, but it's not anymore, the personality is not related to the word manager. Now we have to focus on being leaders, on leadership, okay? So, why leadership is important? When is leadership important? When we have a crisis situation, it's important to have a leader, someone who tells us and to lead us and lead the way. So when we say lead the way, that's what we mean. Is someone starting to do something and the rest would follow, okay, for crisis situation. For organizational performance, this means for making the company work effectively, okay, to perform. For employee job satisfaction, okay? When we work as employees, we are more satisfied if we have a leader, a person who is a leader, than if we have just a boss. Someone who is not a leader, is just your boss because the contract says it, and the company structure says that this person is over you, but he's not your leader, okay? So that's why it's one of the reasons why employees quit their jobs, because they're not happy with the leadership from their superiors, okay? And the last one, for successful management, okay? Anyone can manage, because if they have the position, they can manage people. But if we want to be successful, we have to be leaders, okay? So, we have to define leadership. We have to give a definition for leadership, okay? This is going to be a group of 3. First, working alone, write out a short definition of leadership. Okay, doesn't need to be too in detail, just something short. As we were talking before, we mentioned some people that you think that they are leaders, so describe this personality that could apply as a definition of leadership. Just write whatever you think that leadership means, okay? Write something short, just individually, and then we're gonna put it together in groups, okay? I'll give you 5 minutes for this. First individually. Individually first. Individually, because by this later you will going to combine and choose the best part of your work, to this part of your work, and make a better job. Just one sentence, I don't want to have a paragraph like this, okay? Okay, and when you finish, share with the person sitting next to you and discuss the best combined definition. So maybe you seek a definition that will be, okay, she thought about this that I hadn't thought. And then the opposite, she doesn't have this, and then you make a combined definition that is better than the one you have and the one she has. Okay? So you have to do this. Okay, so can you add something for everyone, or like you look at both of them and you can make a new definition of mixing them, choosing the best part of the one and the best part of the other, and write a new one, a new definition. This type of exercise is good because sometimes we are saying what we think. I mean, I write a definition and say, I'm not going to see my own definition because people's going to think, it doesn't make sense. But when you say the definition to the person next to you and then you make both of you together, it's easier to share it because it's something that comes from two people, not just one. This type of exercise is good for that. So, don't look for definitions online. You can look. Okay. If your definition is too good, I will suspect that you read from Google. Okay. Okay, I'll give you 2 more minutes to finish the combined definition. Okay. Okay, let's get started. So, this group, who's gonna read the definition? You read it? Okay, so for the definition for the first group.
For me, a leadership, I mean like a person who can lead a group of people to be success in their goal, and a leadership who can make decisions and a judgment.
So that would be a leader.
A leadership.
Leader.
Yeah.
Because leadership is in general.
In general.
So that would be the definition of a leader. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you repeat? Is to lead people to be successful.
Yeah.
To get their goals.
Yeah, to get a goal.
Okay. And make a decision.
Make a decision, yes. And I think it's like the relationship with the leadership. A person has relationship with other people.
With the followers.
Yeah, with the follower, yes. Okay.
For me, leadership is who is okay for us, who is solving the problem in the situation.
So problem solving?
Yeah, and who got the more power than other in the group or in the company or where else like.
But power, don't you think that power doesn't need to be leader? For example, if I have my own company, I have all the power, and maybe I'm not a leader. Okay, so, so power, it could be something that many leaders have power because we know them when we have power, but maybe before they didn't have power. It's not something that is related to the leadership.
I don't mean power because of the money.
Okay. No,
It's-
but power in the
It can be, it's like if he is very smart, like Mark Zuckerberg, he is very smart,
a lot of
so he used his brain power and then make the Facebook,
Okay.
and he got like $1 billion now.
Okay, because I understood power as who's got the power in this company, who's got the power in this university, the president, or who's got the
No,
power in this
I don't
company.
mean like
Okay,
it,
okay.
it can be anything, like
Okay.
with the money, with the like who is like smarter than other. And the last sentence is can manage their followers with the satisfaction.
Okay, so the followers have to be satisfied with the
With
style
the
of management?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, very good.
Okay, we think who gonna be a good leadership? He or she always have some the finding the way of opportunity and new inspiration of
Opportunity and inspiration.
yes, and then he will make a lot of his worker under take them ability out, managing and controlling the worker like that, and uniqueness of his style of the leadership, personality and the way they work, and the good leadership they will take the fast action of his plan and make things like that.
So both of the three of you, you are talking about leaders, not about leadership, okay? It's the same, but it's not the same if I tell you define a friend or define friendship, okay? Friendship would be the relation or the word, the abstract noun, and then friend would be the person that has this relation. So this would be the same. Leadership and leader. You are talking about a person, but it's okay to define leadership. If you tell me a good leader has to do this, this, and this, you are implying what is needed for leadership. Thank you.
Yes, in our opinion, the leadership is the person who can lead us and can guide us the way into the correct decision.
Correct decision.
The
I
person,
hear many times decisions in school.
this person we are talking about is the person who can lead us in the way of any situation we facing together, so they can better they can achieve the goal. In our opinion, whether we are good or bad situation, we are facing it together. They can lead us to. If we didn't know what to do, the leadership can guide us to the correct way, and the leadership is the kind of person who is likely to make a last decision among the group because they have a better judgment and can see a better view than us. It's like a eagle eye or something. And the person needs to be a more sacrificed one among the group, because if the leadership is the sacrificed one, the people in the group didn't need to be much stress of it, and he or she will have a respect.
It's not just a boss
Yes, yes.
I don't do anything. It's leader is the one that goes first and do the things first and show other people how to do them. And the other people will follow.
Yes, and he or she need to be respect with each other, so they can be a better teamwork.
So this, you're saying all the time, leadership is, this is leader, a leader. Okay, so don't mix, it's a leader is blah blah blah, because the leader is the person, okay? Just, everything's clear. For you to know, when you say a leadership is, it doesn't mean, because leadership is the word, the abstract word, okay? And a leader is the person. So Steve Jobs, that we mentioned before, or Barack Obama, they are leaders, okay? Very good. Next one. Oops, sorry. Who's going to speak? You were a team, the four of you. Can you think of a definition of a leader? Sorry, of leadership? Now I'm mixed.
Not leader, not leadership.
Yeah, I know about leadership. I talk about leadership, not leadership. So the work alone write out definition of leadership. Okay. So leadership is related to leader. So I will start from leader. The leader, the person who lead the group, society, organization, so on, the group of peoples is called leader. And the leadership, the person that lead that certain or particular group, such as he should make some decisions, make some goals, make some kind of setup to become that particular group higher, successful or whatever. Yeah, so it's called the leaderships.
I see that most of you use the verb lead, which is, it makes sense. The leader leads, okay? But usually when you write a definition, you shouldn't use the same verb as the word. You cannot say the singer sings, or the singer, a person who sings. It doesn't make sense to have a definition with the same word. But you're gonna see now a proper definition of leadership. I mean, I understand you, it's clear, but for you to know, when you define something, you cannot use the same word as the word you are defining, okay? So, let's get a definition. Not here, okay? So, leadership is the influencing, okay? So we are talking now, instead of leading, influencing process of leaders and followers. So it's important to consider both. Even when we talk about leadership, we have to mention the followers, even when we define. To achieve organizational objectives, you mentioned about goals, they mentioned about goals, objectives, so it's similar. Through change. So we need to change. If we don't change, if we keep the things exactly the same as they are, so we cannot be considered as leaders. Okay, so from this definition, I have in bold four things: influencing, leaders and followers, organizational objectives, and change. I have four, but in the next slide we have the 5 key elements of leadership. Okay, so we have leaders, followers, that we had it in the definition. Influence, we had it in the definition as well. Organizational objectives. Change, we had it in the definition, but we need to add one more, and it's people. Okay, why people? You can think leaders and followers are people, but we have to make clear that people is one of the fundamental things, one of the key elements, because a leader leads, I'm using the verb leads, or influences people, not machines. You can be very good at IT, but you are not a leader, even if you can manage with 300 computers at the same time, okay? So, let's see each of them, little by little. We'll start with leaders, followers, the relationship between leaders and followers. So in the definition, we mentioned about it's the influencing process, it says of, but when it says of, it means between leaders and followers. And this word is very important, between, because it's a two-way process. It's not just the leader influencing the followers also influence the leader. And this is something we need to consider, because when we talk about the old managerial style, the managers, they try to influence, or they try to make people do what they want, but they don't get feedback, they don't get influenced by the followers. Okay? Leader is a person, it can be a manager or non-manager. Okay? You don't need, as I said before, you don't need to be a manager to become a leader, with the ability to influence others. Okay? Later we will see influence, what it means, but you can get an idea of what influence, when someone influences you, is that it changes you in some way, or you can adapt to what this person says. And the follower is a person who is being influenced by a leader, even if they also influence the leader. But the main thing is that they are following this leader. That's why the name is follower. Okay, so now, influence is the process of a leader. So we have different verbs here. First, communicating, gaining acceptance of the ideas. So first we have to communicate our ideas, to pass our ideas to the followers. And then not just pass the ideas. This is very important, gain acceptance. So the followers need to accept our ideas. So if they don't accept our ideas, we change our ideas. So this is a big difference between an old manager and a leader. Okay? And motivating, this is very important, to motivate followers to support and implement the ideas through change, what we talked before and we will see later, change. And it says here that influence is the essence of leadership. Essence means that is one of the keys, the fundamental thing on leadership, okay, the most important thing. Okay, organizational objectives. So we are talking about leadership for the companies. Okay, this is always talking about companies, not about leadership in other ways. So effective leaders influence followers to think not only on their own interests, but the interests of the organization, of the company. So we need to convince, we need to motivate our followers to think not just of what is good, what is beneficial for them, but also what is ethical and beneficial for the company. Okay, ethical, you understand what ethical means? Can you tell me in other words what ethical is? It's related with law? Not really. Anything ethical? Can anything be legal but not ethical?
Ethical, you can mention like manners.
Ethical, it's more what is right. It's the concept of what is right. Not it's some people mix the law and the ethical things, but there's some laws that can be unethical. Like for example, in Spain, you can go and there's bullfighting. You know bullfightings? So this is legal because in Spain they have a law that says that they can do bullfightings. Is it ethical? For me, not. Is it ethical for you? No? So that's it. The law is not the same as the ethics, okay? So something ethical, what is right, and beneficial, that it's good for the company. And themselves also, okay? So it has to be not just thinking of the company, but thinking of the company and the followers as well. And it's important, we're talking about objectives, that the objectives are specific and difficult objectives in order to have higher levels of performance. Okay, for example, imagine you are working in a hotel and the manager or your leader tells you to, this year we have to improve sales, to increase sales, okay? So at the moment, the first moment that you reach the same sales as last year and you sell something else, you're gonna be relieved. Okay, I already got my objective, okay? It's an easy objective and it's general, it's not specific, it's too general, just to increase. But if he tells you or she tells you, you have to increase sales by 15%, okay? This is specific. And maybe it's difficult because last year we increased only 5%. So it means it's something difficult and it's more motivating. We're gonna get higher levels of performance. So the thing of specific is very important, and difficult is difficult within a limit. It has to be difficult. It means not easy, not impossible, okay? We cannot ask our followers to do something that is almost impossible. Change. Organizations need to continually change to adapt to the rapidly changing global environment, okay? So now everything is changing. Things that were the top thing 5 years ago, now they are very low, where they have nothing to do in everything, not just in technologies, in the ways of ruling companies. Everything's changing and keeps changing, and we need to keep adapting to this environment. And the last one, people. People. So leadership is about leading people, not computers, not machines. So it's important to treat people as assets of our company. So we have to treat them as assets, but not considering them as money, but consider them that they are something very important for our company if we want to get financial success, if we want our company to be successful. Okay, so these are some characteristics of effective leaders. The first one, they share leadership responsibilities through co-leadership. So this means that they don't try to have all the responsibilities. They share, they give some responsibilities to some of the followers, and choosing right, who is the right person for each responsibility. Also, they teach leadership skills to subordinates. They're not, oh, I'm very good, I don't need, I can give them some work, but I don't want them to improve too much because they're going to become leaders as me. We all want to have followers which are leaders as well, okay? So that's why we teach leadership skills. They influence followers to support organizational interests. This is what we mentioned before, that they do not think only of their own personal interest, also in the company. Set objectives, what we mentioned, and if they are specific and difficult, it's better for the performance. They influence change for continual improvement. We can never be satisfied. Even if we are the top company in our industry, we cannot be satisfied and say, okay, we reached the top, now we stay like this. We have to continuously improve, okay? That's very important for leadership. And can work with people. Can work with people, it doesn't mean an ability. Everyone can work with people. It means that they are very good at working with people, okay? They are very effective when working with people. So now, we've been talking about leadership. We've seen the different, some characteristics of the leaders. So, one question. Are leaders born or are they made? It means you are born with some personality, some characteristics that you are a leader, or even if you are not born with this, you can become a leader by working or by studying, etc. How many of you think that they are born? Raise your hand. Only one?
I think both.
You think both? So two people think both. And how many things they are made? They are made? 1, 2, and both of them? Okay, so it's both of them. Most researchers say the answer is both. Why? You were right. Because some are born with natural ability, but they need to develop it, okay? Even if you have your ability, if you don't know how to apply this ability, you're never going to be a leader. Some others are developed through effort and hard work, okay? And how can this be proved? Because some people say, yeah, but if you don't have it in your personality, it's impossible to get to be a leader. All people have potential leadership skills, and how can we prove this? Because organizations spend millions every year to develop leadership skills. So it means not all organizations can be wrong, so it means that it can be improved and it can be developed, okay? Time is it? Okay. Now we're going to see the 10 managerial roles, the 10 roles that a manager can have. So there are 3 groups. We have interpersonal roles, informational roles, and decisional roles. So the first 3 are interpersonal, are figurehead, leader, and liaison. Okay, we're going to see each of them one by one, explaining and giving examples. Okay, so just see the name. But liaison means like with relationship. It's a French word, and it's related to a relationship. Okay. Monitor, disseminator, spokesperson, and the decisional, entrepreneur, disturbance handler, resource allocator, and negotiator. Anything of these you don't understand the words first, and then we see the definition of each. Anything, what can it be? Entrepreneur, you know, entrepreneur?
Like interpreter?
Entrepreneur, you know what an entrepreneur?
Somebody have business on the
Yes, entrepreneur means, is French as well, like liaison. Entrepreneur means business person. Business person, okay? A person that has their own business. Liaison is it's a relation, but you will see the explanation later. This is I'm just telling you what the words mean. The word liaison, it means like relation, like something related. Entrepreneur means a business person. Disturbance handler, if there's a disturbance, it means that there's some problems, and to handle a problem is to solve a problem. So it's similar to problem solving that we talked before. Disturbance handler is very similar. Resource allocator, to allocate. You know what allocate means? Is to put things into different places, okay? So to put the different resources into different places. And negotiator. We're going to see all of them now. So, the figurehead role. These managers take this role when they represent the organization or the department, the company, in legal, social, ceremonial, or symbolic activities. Okay? So it means some examples. When they sign official documents in the name of the company, okay? So they are representing the company. When they act as official representative, when they go to an event as representatives of the company, or when they are presidents at meetings, okay, there's a meeting of the company, and the manager act as a president in the name of the company, representing the organization, or sometimes just the department. The leader role is the second role. Performing the management functions to effectively operate the organization unit. What does it mean? It means managing effectively, okay? So we have to be managers, but in an effective way. Some examples of these, of when we act, when leaders or managers act as leader. When we, yes? Do you want to have the break now, 10-minute break? And then we continue, if you want, as we can have, we're going to have a 10-minute break, so if you want... Okay, so... Okay, I was planning to have the break around 10, more or less. Okay, so it's 5 minutes. Okay, you will have this later, so, okay. Can you wait 5 minutes? Yes, wait for 5 minutes and then we finish this. Okay, so when are managers using the leader role? So for example, when they hire and train employees, when they coach, or when they evaluate. So these kind of actions that are related to managing, hiring, training, coaching, evaluating, if we do them effectively, it means we are taking the leader role. Then the third role, liaison role. Okay, this is when the leaders interact with people outside their organizational unit. It means outside the department. Okay, whenever we have the managers interact with people from other departments, they are doing the liaison role. But you will see better with examples. Networking, when we do networking, serving on committees, when we are a part of the committee, or attending professional association meetings. Okay, sometimes there are professional associations, for example, an association about hotel managers in Thailand. So when you go to these meetings, you are taking the liaison role. Monitor role. This would be gathering and analyzing. Gathering is collecting, okay? Collecting and analyzing information to discover problems and opportunities, okay? So we use for both of them. Not just try to collect and analyze information when we have a problem. Also, when we don't have a problem, we have to look for new opportunities. And we have to research to look for information. So an example of this, reading memos or reports, attending meetings, or even just observing how the company is going, how people is working, and like this you can get some opportunities of how to improve, or you can see some problems that you didn't see before. The disseminator role, when leaders send information to others in the organizational unit within our department, okay, when we send information within the department. Passing information orally, by voice, it can be voicemail, discussions, or in a meeting, or written information by email, by post, okay? So whenever we are communicating with our department, we are and sending information, we are taking this role, the disseminator role. And the spokesperson role would be similar, but it would be providing information to people outside the organizational unit, okay? So it would be the same, but this one is to our department or to our company, and this one is outside. So this would be when we meet with bosses from other departments, or when we answer letters from people outside the company, or even reporting to government. When we need to communicate with government, they ask us for some information about the company, about taxes, about anything, so that would be spokesperson role. Entrepreneur role, when leaders innovate and initiate improvements, okay? When we talk about a business person, they innovate because they start their own business, and they initiate means the same as starting, okay? So what can we as leaders within a company innovate and initiate? So improvements is what we can do to make things better. So examples of this, developing new or improved products or services, the new ways of processing these products. It doesn't need to be a new product or a new service, but a new way of processing this product or processing this service, or even purchasing new equipment. For example, if we are working in a hotel and we see that the till is very old and we want to have a new system with a computer based, so we have to take this initiative, and we would be taking this entrepreneur role. We would be doing it for our company, so we do it for the company we work for. Okay? Disturbance handler. So it's what I said before, problem solving. When leaders take corrective action during crisis or conflict situations, whenever there's a conflict or a problem, and the leader take action. Corrective, it means to solve the problem. We take an action in order to solve the problem. When there is an union strike and people, the workers don't come to work, so we have to make some decisions how to make them be back to work, what can we offer, etc. Breakdown of equipment. If some of the equipment is not working, we have to make a decision of what to do. Material arriving late. In our case, if we are working in hospitality, if for the restaurant there's some food that was in the menu, for tonight we have special menu, and then the food hasn't arrived, so some of the products, so we need to take immediate action, okay? So this would be disturbance handler role. Tight schedules, okay? It's if we have schedules are tight for some event or something, so we have to deal with them as well. And the last two, resource allocator role, when leaders schedule, request authorization, and perform budgeting activities, okay? When we deal with schedules and budgeting mainly. It's talking about the resources we have in the company, including our followers, our workers. So it would be something related with time management, thinking about the raises, the pay raises, who we have to determine who we're going to give a pay raise, etc., or to schedule the use of material. Sometimes we have limited material and every worker wants to use that material. We have to schedule this, so we will be allocating this resource, this material. And the last one, negotiator. So when leaders represent the company during transactions, okay? When we are selling or buying things in the name of the company. When we talk about pay and benefits packages, contracts with labor unions, with different, and contract with customers or suppliers. It would be buying or selling in the name of the company. That's the important thing you need to remember. So that would be the negotiator role. Okay, so let's have a break, 10-minute break. Okay, so we continue. So after seeing the 10 managerial roles, now we're gonna see everything is about numbers. The first one was the 5 key elements. Now later we saw the 10 managerial roles, and now we're gonna see the 3 levels of leadership analysis. Okay, so the first one is the way that we can, these 3 levels of leadership analysis is the way that we can analyze leadership. So the first one would be individual level of analysis. It means from the individual point of view. So it focuses on the individual leader and the relationship with the individual followers. How is the relationship between the leader and each of the followers, one by one, individually? It's also called the dyadic process. Okay? So whenever we talk about the dyadic process, it means the individual level of analysis. And it's about the reciprocal influence. This is what we talked before. And what is reciprocal? Do you know what reciprocal is? Reciprocal is that there's 2 ways. That is not only one way, it's 2 ways, it's reciprocal, okay? The influence is from the leader to the followers and from the followers to the leader, between the leader and the follower. So reciprocal influence between leader and follower. Okay, so the second one would be, we study first, number 1, the individual level. Now we're gonna look at the group level of analysis. It focuses on the relationship between the individual leader and the collective group of followers. So how we relate not to each of our followers, but in general to the group. Okay? The things that we have in common, that we relate with the whole group as one only group, not just as for individual followers. It's also called the group process. This one is easier. The other one was the dyadic. This one is group, okay? Group process. And how the leader contributes to the group effectiveness. So what the leader does to make the whole group effective, okay? And the last one, organizational, okay? So first we go from the fewer number, that is first individual, group, and organizational. We are talking about the whole organization. Organizational level of analysis. So it focuses on how the top management, now is not only one individual leader, it's the top management, the whole management of the company influences the organizational performance, how the company is doing, the company in general. Okay, so we are, in the other two, we have two actors. We have one individual leader and one individual follower. The second one individual leader and the group that this person is leading. And in this one, we have two actors as well. The first one is the whole top management of the company, the managers of the company, and the whole organization, how these managers influence the whole organization. It's also called the organizational process, okay? So the last two, very easy to remember. The other one is a new word that you need to study. And it's effectively adapting to the environment, okay? This is something that we talked about before related to the change. We need to adapt to the environment and acquiring the necessary resources, okay? So we are, if we want our organization to perform effectively, we need to choose which resources we're going to use, and including in these resources, we have to think of all the assets, including workers or followers. Okay, so this would be at the level of the organization. So now we saw the three levels, and now we have to see how they are related to each other. So this graph shows the relationship. As you can see, it's a triangle. We have the individual analysis here, the individual level, and then the group and the organizational are on the sides of the triangle. Okay, so as you saw, the individual level is placed at the bottom of the triangle, which means that both the group and organizational levels, they are based on the individual performance, okay? So whenever we study the group and organizational levels, we have to focus also, they are based is the base of the triangle, is the individual performance, okay? So it's very important to know about the individual level in order to study the other two levels. An organization is the sum of all its individual transactions. It means that if we have a lot of good individual relationship, a lot of good individual workers, we're going to have a good organization because it's the sum of all of them. Then the second one, the group level, provides a better understanding of leadership effectiveness than the individual, because we are studying how the individual leader relates, influences the whole group. So it's easier to get an effective understanding of the leadership if we see how this leader talks, how they influence the whole group, not just one by one, okay? Then, the group part of the triangle supports the organizational side, okay? So imagine that this is a triangle, we have the group here, the organizational here. If we take out the group, the organizational falls. So this means that this group part supports the organizational. So the group side, it's the support for the whole company, for the whole organization level. And both the group, okay, we said before that the base is the individual, but also both the group and the organizational performance affect the performance of the individual. What does it mean? When the group members or the whole group they are motivated and productive, it means we have a company in which, in general, they have a high level of motivation, a high level of production, the company is doing very good, each year they improve. It's more likely that the individual are also productive as well, because they are influenced by the whole group. As I say here, success is contagious. Okay? If the company is successful, we are going to be successful also as individuals, at an individual level. Okay? So success is contagious. Okay. Now, another number, this time 4. Okay. This is the leadership theory paradigms. Paradigms is what we mentioned before. So there are 4 leadership theory classifications, 4 types of leadership theories. The first one is the trait, behavioral, contingency, and integrative. Okay, we'll see each of them. The names are very strange. So I think you haven't seen maybe behavioral because it comes from behavior, and integration, you've heard integration, but the other two, contingency, trait, what is this? So let's see them one by one. The first one, leadership trait theories. Okay, so this is the attempt, they try to explain distinctive characteristics. Okay, we have to remember this word because traits is the same as characteristics. Okay, characteristics, do you understand characteristics? Characteristics? No? Abilities could be a type of characteristics. Something that is related to one's personality, to one's way of being. They are your characteristics. So tell me, for example, some of your characteristics. So like this, they understand.
I am a
Hard worker.
I am honest.
Honest.
I am
Good communicator. Okay, so these would be 3 characteristics of Khan. Okay, so now you understand what characteristics are. So this would be the same as traits. Okay, so whenever you think of trait, think of these characteristics. Okay, so these theories, they try to explain the distinctive characteristics, the unique characteristics, accounting for leadership effectiveness to identify a set of traits. Okay, I will explain this, I just read this. A set of traits that all successful leaders possess. Okay, so we study some leaders. Okay, we study Barack Obama, Steve Jobs, and some other leaders, Gandhi, okay, and we see which characteristics they have. They are hard workers, they are honest, they are these kind of things. And then we will identify things that are common with them. Oh, the 3 of them, maybe they don't have the same personality, but the 3 of them, they are good communicators. Okay, so good communicators, we take it and we put it within a set. We put a set of traits, of characteristics that all successful leaders possess, that all the leaders have. So like this, we will have a list of things, of characteristics that someone needs to have or is likely to have if they want to become a good leader. Okay? So that would be briefing. It's just observing leaders, taking the things that are related to their personality, and then choosing those that they have in common. And then we can consider that these things means that if you have these characteristics, you are likely to become a leader as well. It can be physical or psychological. Okay, it can be, for some examples here, high energy level, appearance. Appearance, it doesn't mean being good looking or ugly. It means the way you present yourself physically to people, okay? Even if you are not the most handsome person, but the way you dress can be another way of showing a nice appearance and a way of showing that you are a leader. Aggressiveness, okay? The level of being aggressive or not aggressive. Self-reliance, if you rely on yourself. It can be also considered as you can consider yourself like self-confident, okay? Confident. Persuasiveness. Persuasiveness. What is persuasiveness? To motivate or to convince or to persuade, it's that, or to motivate or to convince people, okay? Persuasiveness. And dominance. What can it be, dominance? Dominant, someone who is dominant is someone who is over other people, can control other people, but not just to be rule over them, is to control other people. That would be the most similar to dominance. So When we talk about the animals, we say the dominant lion is the one who controls the whole group, the dominant, okay? It's like the alpha male, okay? This kind of thing. Then the second one, okay? The first one we saw that we just study some leaders and we see their personal characteristics, and then we decide, oh, as these many leaders, they have these characteristics, we can assume that if you have these characteristics, you can become a leader. Okay, that's the first one. The second one, behavioral leadership theories. So they try to explain distinctive styles used by effective leaders or to define the nature of their work. Okay, so this time we don't look at their personality, we don't look at their physical characteristics or at their psychological characteristics. We look at the way they work, the styles they use for being leaders, okay? So instead of looking at something that they got with themselves, it's something that we can say that you are either born with or you work to have. Before that we were mentioned, are leaders born or made? Okay, so this we talking about the way they lead, the different styles they use for leading, their behaviors, okay? So, an example of this would be the 10 managerial roles that we see. So we saw the 10 managerial roles is the way a leader or a manager behaves during the work, and they behave in different ways, and these different ways are considered in these roles, they are considered different behaviors. You can behave the same when you have to solve a problem or a disturbance, or when you have to give information to someone outside the company, okay? So that will be examples of the style. So these managerial roles would be one of these theories, of these behavioral theories. The third one, contingency leadership theories. They want to explain the appropriate leadership style based not only on the leader. In the other two theories, paradigms that we saw, they are focusing on the leader. The first one on their personality, the second one on the way and the styles of behavior, the behavior they have. But here we focus on the style based on the leader, the followers, and the situation. This is more complete. We don't think only about the person who is leading, we think also about the rest of the situation and the person, the people who are following the leader. These theories emphasize, give importance to the situational factors and the characteristics of the followers, not just the characteristics of the leader, but also those of the followers, okay? So these are the three different paradigms before the last one, that is the one that is the newest. The newest one is the integrative leadership theories. I put this because it's mixing all of them. Okay, an attempt to combine the trait, behavioral, and contingency theories to explain successful influencing leader-follower relationships. So, it's the one that we are using now. If you want to become a leader, you have to study everything. The characteristics of the leader. We have to study their behavior, and we have to study the situations, the different situations, and the followers as well. Okay? So that would be the four theory paradigms about leadership. Am I too quick? Or is it more or less clear, you think? Well, when you read it again, you think it would be clear? It's just four ideas about how to know what effective leadership is and how can we guess what is good leadership. And it's by looking at other people and how they have become successful leaders. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Then the environment, then forward maybe.
Yes. Look, I'm gonna show you here.
But the one sentence sometimes the thread.
Okay, the first one is you only focus on the characteristics of the leader. Okay, so you will just look at Steve Jobs, Gandhi, Barack Obama, and think, they are hard workers, they are good communicators. So, and we just think. I will tell everyone, to become a successful leader, you need to be hardworking, good communicator, and whatever, okay? Just focus on that. You don't give importance to the rest. The second one, you focus on the way they behave, okay, and only on that. You don't think of the characteristics anymore. You think only on the way they do their job. So Barack Obama, whenever he had a problem, he does this. Or Steve Jobs, when he had to launch a new product, he did that, okay? So it's the behavior, the way they do, not related to their characteristics. And only focus on the behavior, okay? The third one, we forget about the behavior and we forget about the characteristics. Now we think of the leader. Now we think about the leader, the follower, and the situation all together. Combining, we think how is the leader, how are the followers, and what is the situation, or how is the company they are working for. Okay, these three things. And the last one, it combines everything. We look at everything because we want to really know what is leadership and what it would be an effective leadership. So we look characteristics of the leaders, behavior, and the other three things, the followers and the situations. Okay, all of them together. Is it more clear now? Okay. So we are almost finished. Okay. So as we said at the beginning, now we are changing. Before the idea was you need to be a good manager, a good boss, but they never talk about leadership, about the importance of influencing and also being influenced by your followers. So the paradigm has shifted, changed from management to leadership. Now companies, they want leaders, they don't want managers. Managers, they still exist, but only as a name of the position. But you want your managers, if you have a company, you want your managers to be leaders, okay? And even the followers, we want the followers to have some leadership on them as well. Successful managers use today a truly democratic form of leadership. Democratic, like democracy. So they are not rulers, they are not those making all the decisions and ordering people to do things. It's more, everyone has something to say. Democracy. They share management responsibility with the employees as well, with the followers, okay? So they give them some responsibility. Now this is the last slide. We're going to see the differences, the big differences between managers and leaders, okay? The first one, the managers administer while the leaders innovate. What does it mean? Administer is that they give you something, they tell you, here you have, administer it as you want, use it as you want. Okay, so they use whatever they have. So this means that the company has some ways of working and they will work the same way, just administering, using the resources of the company. But the leaders innovate, they look for new things. Okay? They don't just trust people in the company saying this is the best way. They keep looking and try to find the best way in the moment and then keep innovating the whole time. Managers, they maintain while leaders develop. They maintain, the managers, it means that they keep everything as it was. They do their job, but they don't try to improve, as we say here, to innovate. And leaders, they develop, they try to make the company grow, to develop new strategies, to develop new products, etc. Managers, this is talking about how they behave with their followers or with their workers. Managers control the workers, okay? They look what they are doing, they control, they even tell them off, or they even can fire them. But leaders, it doesn't mean leaders, they don't fire people, of course they do, but they don't try to just control and see that people are doing what I say. Leaders try to inspire. Inspire is something related to what we said before about motivate, about persuade, to make people want to follow us, not just follow us because I'm the boss. Follow us because you are interested in what I am saying, and also because you are taking into account what I'm saying as well as a follower. So we are creating something together, and I am willing to follow you. Okay? Inspiring, this is important. Managers have a short-term view, Okay, and leaders have a long-term view. Okay, this is about thinking about the future. So leaders tend to think more in the future. Managers ask how and when, and leaders ask what and why. What is the difference? So why do you think managers, what do I mean when I say managers ask how and when? When to finish. Okay, so this is mainly that they not really have their own decisions. I mean, they work for a company, and in the company they've been doing this for some time, and they also have a boss. So they would ask the boss, how you want me to do this? And when you want it to be finished, okay? How and when. However, if you are a leader, you don't ask these questions, because you will find a way to do it, not the way the boss tells you. You don't require their help on this. You can do it. They just tell you what and why. So what you need to be done. You want the sales to increase 15%? Okay, don't worry. I will manage how to do it. You don't need to ask your boss how to do it. And then why? Because this is critical thinking. Leaders have critical thinking. Critical thinking, it means that they don't just agree with everything. They also have their own idea, and they ask why a lot. So why? Why do you need to increase 15% if we have been doing very good by increasing 10%? If we try to increase 15%, maybe we would need to hire more people, and maybe it's not good for the company, okay? Something like this. So this is why, critical thinking. Managers, they imitate, they follow what other managers or what their superiors did, because they did it good and the company is going good, so I will do the same. Leaders originate. Origin. What is the origin of one place? Is the beginning, to start. So they start new things, okay? They not just follow what other people did. Okay, status quo. You know what status quo means? Status quo is whatever is established, whatever has been established for a long time, and everyone knows that this is like this and you cannot change it. Okay, it's something that has been established for a long time. So the managers accept it, but the leaders challenge status quo. They think, maybe this regulation has been here for a long time. Maybe because of this has been here for a long time, is the moment to change it now, because times have changed. So you don't just follow what other people say, this is like this because it's always been like this, it's a tradition. Yeah, but maybe this tradition is not the best way for the company. And the last thing, this sentence is interesting. Managers, they do things right, okay? Whatever they have to do, they do it, and they do it right. But leaders, they do the right things, the things that need to be done, okay? Do things right is like behave properly, do whatever they are said to do, but do the right things is to do the things that need to be done to improve everything and to get our goals as well. So that's it. We finished quite early. Okay, thank you very much. And okay, let me see.